For Babette and Jim Feibel, giving isn't something they've had to do much thinking about. It's part of their heritage. From their earliest childhoods, they've had exceptional role models to follow. Jim's father, Troy Feibel, and Babette's dad, Richard Abel, were both founding members of the Columbus Jewish Foundation and were leaders in the business world and the Columbus community.
My father was a very active member in the Jewish community. He was constantly involved in communal activities, and of course we heard that at the dinner table, what was going on in the community, what the community's problems were, how the community was solving them, how he thought that would be solved, how other people thought that would be solved. So we just grew up with it.
The idea of public service in that family goes back for as long as I guess anyone can remember, from Julius to Troy to Jimmy, and then Babette and Jim's children, because Babette's father, Dick Abel, was equally active. And that's just the atmosphere that those two grew up in.
Community is a tradition with the Feibel family and the Abel family. Their fathers were founding fathers of the Columbus Jewish Foundation in 1955. So involvement in the endowment building infrastructure of this community is a family tradition among the Feibels. It's something that comes as natural to them as raising a family, because this is their family.
It was always a part of our everyday life, and I've hoped to instill it in my children and our grandchildren, because it's been such a major aspect to all of our lives.
Babette and Jim were childhood sweethearts and came back to Columbus after law school to raise their family, which included daughters Julie, Karen, and Lauren, and son Jonathan. As one generation flowed into the next, the Feibel children have had wonderful examples to learn from.
There was always chaos in our house growing up. It was always, you never knew who was going to be sitting around the kitchen table. And it was a very warm environment to grow up in, and certainly one that everybody that came over here felt very comfortable with.
When my parents see a need, they find a way to fill it, and they give probably 190% of themselves and their time, and they have more energy than any two people I've met.
My parents are very committed community volunteers for several reasons. First, they get great enjoyment out of helping others, and derive a great sense of satisfaction out of knowing that they've helped people in the community.
Mom and Dad have been committed to the community. They learned from their parents. Their parents were role models for them, as they've been for us. And I think leading by example, their parents showed them. They do it out of the goodness of their heart.
As committed community volunteers, the Feibels have always been anxious to help whenever they're recruited. Jim and Babette have a wide range of interests, whether it's the Columbus Speech and Hearing Center or Mount Carmel Health System. The Feibels are always ready, willing, and able to participate when needed.
I think they're committed to many different things. I think it's in their personalities. He's been fortunate in his life, and I think that's part of his commitment, part of his religious experience too.
They seem to have a symbiotic relationship when it comes to charities. Sometimes they work together, sometimes they work individually.
The Jewish Foundation is important to the Feibels. The entire community is important to the Feibels. They just want to make the world a better place to be.
They're smart, they're committed, and they're needed in the community, and they've had a great tradition of working in the community.
I think one thing more than that, too, I think, as many people do, they feel that they have received a great deal from the community. They owe a great deal, and in Woody Hayes' phrase, you pay ahead, you pay forward. We've all been very lucky.
Their synagogue has always played a major role in their lives, and Jim and Babette were founding members of Temple Beth Shalom. The family is thrilled that grandson Jeffrey Friedlander will be bar mitzvahed later this week in the brand new building his grandparents helped to create. Babette was a 1996 recipient of the YWCA's Women of Achievement Awards. At a luncheon for over 3,000 people, Babette spoke eloquently about what motivates her.
Jewish tradition teaches that when you make a life a little better for just one person,
It is as if you have made the whole world a little better for everyone. Whatever my achievement, it has not been a single big accomplishment, but rather a series of small daily acts that have touched the lives of so many people. People who I did not know before, but have truly become part of my extended family.
The energy that Babette and Jim exude is truly remarkable. As a successful attorney, Jim has used his legal expertise in his volunteer activities. He has headed the Columbus Jewish Foundation's Legal and Tax Committee and is chair-elect of the Mount Carmel Health System Foundation. Once Babette's youngest child went to school, she began a business that would not only provide income, but employ women who could now work from their homes. Some of her employees also have a disability. Able Creations is a company that is continuing its founder's basic philosophy, helping people whenever possible. Even the dolls on tonight's tables were designed, executed, and donated by Able Creations.
I don't know that I've made a difference, but I've tried one day at a time and one person at a time and one activity at a time just to do whatever needed to be done and to be able to take advantage of opportunities that came our way or help in situations that needed help.
One of the activities that is closest to the Feibels' hearts is being foster parents. Over the last 30 years, they have provided temporary homes for over 60 children. When they began this adventure, it was to provide foster homes for Jewish children. As the community's needs changed, they began working through Crittenden Services. In recognition of their remarkable dedication, the state of Ohio awarded them the 1984 Outstanding Foster Parents Award. They have also been the subject of many television news broadcasts.
Jordan is 8 months old, in perfect health, and cute as they come.
He is very happy all the time, very inquisitive, as you can see right now.
It's easy to see why Jordan feels at home here with all this love and attention, but remember, this is only temporary.
The Feibels have been tremendously effective. One, because they don't go into it for themselves. They're really in it for the children. And you can see that. They're very genuine. They're very sincere in their efforts. They work tirelessly on behalf of children. They've been very effective.
The Feibel family is a shining example of giving from one generation to the next. As they learned from their parents before them, so now is the next generation continuing the family tradition of giving and caring for the community.
I think the legacy that they would like to be remembered by is probably one of generosity and caring, both for the community, and truthfully, they treat the community like it's one part of their family.
I would like my children and grandchildren to know that every day is important, every minute is important, and the only thing you don't have tomorrow is today.
The legacy I'd like to leave for our children and grandchildren is basically the legacy that our parents left us, which is to do what you can, large or small, for the community, and try to make a difference.
L'Ador Vador, from generation to generation, the light of tzedakah is being passed on to their children and grandchildren.